Building value and eliminating risk. It's too expensive. When I first started learning sales as a personal trainer, I was taught that the reason they'd said it was too expensive was because I didn't raise enough value. This is the basic idea. If I have a sack of gold and you know that that sack of gold is worth $10,000, would you pay $5,000 for it? If you don't have $5,000, would you be able to find a way to get $5,000 for a situation like that that is so profitable? When you ask somebody this question, you'll find that most people will be able to find a way. This idea that if they said it was too expensive, the reason they didn't buy was because you didn't raise enough value was so common amongst some of the most experienced, most successful trainers, I knew there had to be some validity to it. So I looked at more and more ways to raise value in that hour. I thought that if I could give $200 worth of service in the 1 hour we had together, people would love the idea of getting a deal and paying $65 for that hour. This idea really hit home for me when one of my clients told me how he was able to renew. Now I want you to picture a guy who immigrated to this country. He works 3 lower paying jobs, sends money back home, and he is on a limited budget. He just purchased another $1,500 worth of services from you for the 3rd time. Now imagine him telling you how he got that money. He got the money by going into the dumpster behind his building and collecting bottles. When it happened to me and he told me that he was going into the dumpster, my first reaction was shock. And eventually it got me to realize that maybe I was on the right track. I mean, he must have seen an incredible amount of value to do that. These experienced trainers were right. When you deliver enough value, your clients will find a way to afford it. Now, truthfully, when it comes to selling something like fitness, it's a little bit more complex. It's not as simple as me selling you a sack of gold valued at $10,000 for $5,000. I mean, we all know stories or even have clients who've signed up for a gym or training and not gotten the results that they were looking for, or even got a membership and never even used it. They invested and still didn't get what they wanted. That means that there's a certain element of risk involved in the purchase of a gym membership or personal training. To put it another way, let's say I have a sack. Only this time the sack has a 90% chance of containing $10,000 worth of gold and 10% chance of containing nothing but rocks. How many of you would still make that purchase? When I ask this question to many people, the overwhelming response is no, I would not buy it. However, it's still a hugely profitable buy. We can look at it on average. 90% of the time we gain $5,000 and 10% of the time we lose $5,000. So doing this equation, we come up with an average of a $4,000 gain. This is a hugely profitable gamble that many people watching this would not take, simply because the pain of loss is more powerful than the hope for gain. Some studies even suggest that the pain of loss is twice as powerful as that of gain. The same is true for buying personal training or signing up for a gym membership. There may be a ton of value built up in the level of service, the facility itself, the equipment, the program, or even the trainer, but there's still a risk involved. I've worked with many fitness consultants who were sold on the idea that their member wanted to try the facility out first to see if they liked it. I mean, it makes sense, right? To know if you want to use the gym, it helps to test it out for a couple weeks, doesn't it? Well, consider this. I recently moved, and when I was looking at the place I moved into, I spent less than 10 minutes before I made that decision. I knew this place would work. It's close to everything, the floor plan is great, and the rent is reasonable. When I talk to other people who've moved, they've had a similar experience. They spend a small amount of time in the new home before even knowing if it would work. Now, what's a bigger decision? A gym membership or the new place to live? Most would say the new place. So why does somebody need a few weeks to try out the gym? Simply because the potential for failure is higher. In other words, there's a higher risk involved. You know exactly what you like in a home. Someone new to the gym doesn't even know if they'll actually use the club. In order to help people get started, we need to help them have the tools they need to be successful. We can eliminate the risk by listening to our clients, finding out why they haven't been successful, and listening for what they need in a solution. Then all we need to do is provide that solution. If you are a consultant and you have a member who is on a trial or is on a pass, make sure they get the most out of that pass. If you can get them to actually use the pass, this will eliminate the overall risk they feel when it comes to signing up. And remember, when somebody tells you that it's too expensive, it really means that they don't see the value or they see too much risk involved. Always be looking for ways to raise the value while eliminating the risk. If you like this video, be sure to like it, and if you want to see more videos, be sure to subscribe.